particularly want to thank every San Diegan who has stepped up to give or distribute food at the stadium on Saturdays. I've had the honor and the privilege to be there and to see those volunteers, to see the organization, to see the volunteers that are there before the sun even comes up. And they're doing it because they want to help their fellow San Diegans, and the cars that have been lining up. But the organization and the speed in which the food is delivered, the smiles on the volunteers' faces because they care about each other, because they care about San Diegans. It's been phenomenal to see. This last weekend, the volunteers handed out over 6,500 packages of food to thousands of San Diegans. And I've had, as I said, the pleasure of getting to know some of these volunteers over the past several weeks, and the families and what they're doing, including Rebecca and Lourdes, who bring their daughters with them every Saturday to help out. And as a family, they've committed to continue to help their fellow San Diegans at the stadium every week. And the gentleman that's really been helping to lead this organization, and it truly is an organization as it evolved over the coming weeks, is Keith Maddox, who's the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council. Keith, my friend, thank you for stepping up and representing the best of the city, the best of this region, and all of your members who have so much to do on their own, but take time out of their weekend because they care about San Diegans. The efforts that I'm going to describe right now are free of charge. We know that there's the need. Keith Maddox, please come on up.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having us here and for those kind words about what some of the things that we've been doing and also what the city has been doing to kind of lead in this crisis that we have. I also want to thank both the Food Bank and Feeding San Diego. We partner, our Labor Council, the San Diego and Imperial Counties Labor Council partners with both of those organizations. And it's been a real lifesaver for our members and for San Diego. I mean, we've been partnering with them. We've distributed food to over 6,500 families across the region in the last 5 weeks through our operations, both for union members and then the Saturday distributions. And every week, you heard the mayor talk about it. You see some of the slides over here. Every week we have union teachers and grocery workers, home care providers, construction workers, stage hands, all of them, some of them that are working around the clock and some of them who are laid off. That are putting their skills to work to help feed San Diego's families. And it's that power of people standing together to help one another in our communities. It's about solidarity. It's the principles that our union movement is founded upon. Some of our members were some of the very first to lose their jobs and to feel the pain in this crisis, where they were working at the hotels, the convention center, the arenas. You know, we started getting reports of conventions canceling and concerts canceling and those conferences that were all coming about. And so our workers immediately began to lose their paychecks. And now they need a little help to feed their own families. But the spirit of our members has never wavered, as you've heard the mayor talk about and see some of the slides of being out there and giving back. And it's like Phil, who's an IATSE 122 member that works at the convention center and at concerts. He's a stagehand, works behind the scene, and he brings these conventions and concerts to life. He was one of the very first to immediately lose his paycheck, and he responded by volunteering, by coming to our union distributions to help other workers in need, while he was also needing a helping hand himself to put food on his table. And every day we see more and more of our members across San Diego being impacted. They're laid off, have their hours cut, and so many of these are tourism workers, or they work at other operations that feed our tourism economy, like Mindy, who's worked for 30 years at the San Diego Zoo, the world-class San Diego Zoo, as a tour operator driving a double-decker bus. She's had a career of helping others and being able to show people across the globe about the San Diego Zoo. And now Mindy is being laid off and needs a helping hand to put food on her table as well. There's thousands of stories like this about Mindy and Phil all across this city, and that needs that help. You heard the mayor talk about the distribution. If you if you ever get the chance just to look and see what it looks like with 1,100 cars lined up on a Saturday waiting for food, they get there for a 9 o'clock start. When we get there at 5:45, they're already lining up in the mornings. Just looking and needing help. They route that entire stadium. They fill up the parking lots throughout there, and there's thousands of people that we have to turn away that we can't get to that day. It's heartbreaking. I mean, it's really heartbreaking. And these are proud workers that many of them's never been without a job, never asked for a helping hand, but that needs one now. And we got to all do our part to lend that hand. It's that labor movement solidarity that we talk about, standing together with each other in times of need. This crisis is nothing like we've seen. This is one that it started as a health crisis, then it became economics, and now it's just being about putting food on the table. And you'll hear our friends at the food bank and at Feeding San Diego talk about the struggles to keep food in here to feed as many people that's hurting right now. Today we're asking the public to join our labor movement in solidarity. You heard the mayor talk about funds that everybody's raising. We've set up our own fund to help workers impacted by the crisis as well. And our unions, we develop relationships with these workers. It's our members. We're out there every week trying to help them put food on the table, but also trying to help them file their unemployment claims and get that moved through the system, to help them with paying their utilities, help them try to get access to that, and to help them try to maintain their health care, because so many of these laid off workers now are beginning to lose their health care. So if you're watching this and you have a little extra, you can give as little as $10 to help workers like at our hotels and convention center, arenas and the zoo and airport, parking lot attendants, and many, many other workers that's out of work needing a helping hand. You can contribute to our union member fund at www.unionyes.org/donate. And what I would say is, we all need help right now. We need you to stay safe. You heard the mayor talking about opening up parks, community parks. We just ask everybody, follow the guidance of our health officials, wear your mask, keep your safe distancing, and all let's stay safe and healthy during this time. Thank you.
Thank you, Keith. And again, thank you for the phenomenal work that you're organizing every single Saturday out at the stadium.